and you
I'm
can't.
not touching their stuff.
And
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, then we're off and running with our experts.
During
I've
the
been having a wood
C-word
shortage.
process, well, that can happen as you get older in life. Come on, man. This is a joke.
Well, you put cologne on your butt?
Well,
So in order to play, you have to wear jorts.
I don't have George. I could probably wear a Speedo now.
Want to do that? No, you probably could.
He'll be over here tomorrow digging out a big-ass bush.
Sonny and share, like and share, whatever.
Yeah.
Just something and share.
Yes, hello. Hey, it's Gamble N Fin. It's Larger Than Live. Season 2, Episode 15. Man, time is just sizzling by
It really
us.
is.
Speaking of sizzling, it's sizzling outside. We've gone from 60 to 90 in 10 days. But, hey, what the hell, right? It's soon to be summer. Let's enjoy ourselves. But here we are with another episode, another edition. Lots of things to get to. Most of which, oh boy, I don't know. It depends on how you want to.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, Fred.
No.
Come
no,
on.
No.
It's okay. It's
No.
hot. You're sweating. This is what you want.
Oh, no, not that. Not that.
All right, well, I'm just saying
referencing
that's
some
the
things
building.
that have occurred
all right.
since the last time we chatted.
That's why we're here.
We are, and that's right. I'm saying that. And don't forget, join us Wednesday. Well, actually, maybe one of us Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's our Larger Than Live at the Logger House, the Moorline Logger House, 5 to 7 on the outside event lawn. Weather permitting. It looks like it's going to be nice again. Looks like there might be just a pop-up, whatever, probably at 5:08. But nonetheless, probably not. 5 to 7. Great beers, full menu, and fun. Lots of discussion. You, however, will be taking a siesta, I understand.
Just a little break. I had this travel that I'd already booked prior to, and
Right.
I'll be in the in the clutches of a major cornhole tournament and other event. I'll have a full report for you next week, and we're taking next Monday off.
Right, yes,
for
we are.
Memorial Day,
Memorial Day,
so you
right.
can celebrate the weekend as best you see fit. Oh,
Yep.
but we would say, as we always do, keep in mind what Memorial Day
Absolutely.
weekend is really about, if you would.
Now, this Wednesday, you're so big that it takes 2 to replace you, right? Now, you can determine how to read into that.
I know what you mean, you dick.
Jeff Pecoro, that name of somebody says, man, I remember Pick. He was on the yes, that Jeff Pecoro still does a lot of UK broadcast. Pick will join me, and we'll have, as you know, we have a lot of fun. He's a frequent guest of the program too, and a little special guest will be Jeremy Rao from Fox 19 Sports. So Pick, Jeremy. So there you go. And maybe if we put them side by side, they'll look like you.
All right, no, man,
Well, I'm just saying. I said, right, it takes 2,
do
right?
me a favor.
Yes, I will.
It's from an impact standpoint.
Oh, my
perhaps.
bad. Oh, it's impact, not size. My bad. Okay,
All right,
continue.
tell Pick that we do it in the same suit and tie thing that he had to do Fox Sports in, so that he shows up in a coat and tie.
I can tell you right now, I can absolutely tell
He'll
you
be
what-
like he has pants on.
He'll be wearing shorts. He'll have some sort of, not a Hawaiian, but like that look, you know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? And slip-ons.
Slip-ons, yeah.
Yeah, and when I told him about, you can have a beer, it seemed to kind of like, I think he's a bourbon guy too, so it could we'll have a lot of
They
fun.
got a full bar in there, I do believe,
Absolutely
as well.
they do, so-
hell, I may not get my spot back.
Yeah, this could be it for you. I'm just going to just say. But no, we'll have some fun while you're out cornholing, something like that. Jeff Pecoro, Jeremy Rao from Fox 19 Sports, 5 to 7, Moorline Logger House. You'll find us there.
And I'll tell you something. If nothing else, I think, Fred, that really plays to our flexibility. We can move and shift and do what we need to do. And if we need this, we've got that. If we need this, we've got that, or whatever.
Yeah.
Not unlike our friends at Fueled Collective,
look
where
at you
if
go.
you're looking for office space and you
Look at
don't
you
want
go.
to have to invest in a full office, invest in that, because you have everything you need right at your fingertips.
Including beer.
Including the beer and the full bar. And that's what brings us full circle.
There we go. And, oh, by the way, Agave and Rye happens to be a neighbor.
Right next
So
door.
you can, if you get a little hungry, you can just go next door and then come back
man.
and wash it down.
It's a free plug. That's not happening again.
Though I'm hoping at some point we get at least, a plain Jane out of it maybe, but we'll see. Love Shack would be my personal favorite.
All right, so here's
Yes.
the question. We typically during this part of the program, we've shortened it down to just a couple of topics, and then we burn off some extras, things that just popped in. And a lot of the extras, I'll be honest with you, pop into my head on the way over here.
Right.
And I had one pop into my head today,
Okay.
and I can't wait to ask you about that. That'll be extra editions. We find those, and you will find those on our dedicated YouTube channel, Gamble N Fin. That's our social media handle for everything: Twitter, Facebook,
Snapchat, my Instagram,
whatever
all that
it
stuff.
is.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some really kicking hit TikTok videos here in a little while. But so we'll watch for the extras on the YouTube channel as well. But you as soon as I walked in, you had a couple of things. You go, oh, I got plenty, Fred. But one had to do with the Reds.
Well, the Reds yesterday, yes. So yesterday, you and I have talked about going down and sitting, like maybe going like once or twice a month and sitting in a different location and experience. Now, some of this, so if you're out there and you happen to have diamond seats, hey, we're your buddies, right? I mean,
you need somebody to help fill them.
But there are three. So yesterday we took all the most valuable players down from the Skyline Chili Reds High School Showcase, which is really cool that the Reds do that. They invite them down, they recognize them in a pregame ceremony. Big thrill for me. I got to meet Barry Larkin, saw Joe Z, chatted with him for a little bit, but. What I was in an area yesterday that I've never been in before, the riverboat deck, the one that's out in center field. Which, have you been there before?
Above the batter's eye?
Yeah. So somebody once rented the batter's eye and had that, but I've never been in the riverboat.
Oh, we were at that when Cincinnati Bell, wasn't it? We went there for some presentation or something through the radio station.
I might have missed that.
I don't even know if there was I think there was a game later. But
well, they've used that.
But I know what you're talking about.
But I got to tell you, the riverboat deck, really cool. So when I was standing out there at the rail, I was thinking for you and me about, and I selected 3 areas, 2 of which I've never sat in that we could go to. 1 I have. So you ready? And these are in no particular order.
Okay.
I've never sat in the bleachers. We need to do it.
I have done that.
We need to do that, though, at night when it's not. Because, I mean, if it were a day game and that is the sun, that's the sun field. So bleachers will be 1.
That's where I was with Mini Fin, and we left after the first pitch.
I bet. I love that right field, like where you're right on the right field or the seats. I've never been out there. Now, I love that Budweiser. We can hang out. I like to stand.
We did that on opening day a couple years ago.
We need to revisit that again. Okay. And then we need to do the upper right field, the all-you-can-eat, and just kill it.
I didn't know there was such a
thing. There is, yeah. So and it's changed names. There used to be Handlebar. It was Fox Sports. Now it's Bally. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's the one that's farthest down the right field line. It's cool because you've got the view of the river. And when Luis Castillo pitches currently, you might want to look at the river. But
watch the balls go into it.
Oh, my God, he was yesterday again, just brutal. But nonetheless, it's cool. So those are my 3, or maybe 4.
Now, it was the machine room originally out in left field.
So that was,
what has that become
That's
now?
become something new. That's a new, I'm not sure to be, but it's a new premium seating area, I do believe.
And that's something I think that they've done a nice job with. I mean, there was the Montgomery Inn, that kind of barn thing. Then it became the old smoky.
It's the smokehouse now. Yes.
Okay, but I think they've done a nice job with the physical plan
they absolutely
of reimagining all of these different spaces and giving you, as a fan, something extra to go out and experience with a group or just solo or with a couple friends, whatever.
So there you go. There's our 4. Right. Bleachers, right field seats, Budweiser bow tie, and the whatever the farthest one in the right field. I think it's $1, a C-note, and it's all you can eat. And trust me, we're getting our damn money's worth.
All right, very good. Yeah, sorry about your luck, Reds, but you've been warned. That's
well, and make sure it's well stocked, because I'll even let them know when we're coming. Because I thought we talked about trying to get in that Boone County distillery. I don't know that we got the swank to get in there.
You don't think we got the...
Well, I was told, now, I haven't investigated this, but I will. I'll report. That's my homework between now and Monday to find out whether or not we can or can't.
Okay. Now, the question becomes, because it goes back to potential full capacity, availability of full capacity June 2.
Right.
Should we try to get to the all-you-can-eat thing very quickly before... Well, that's going to be tough with me out of town. Before the line gets bigger, or you know what I'm saying? How much do you have to wait?
I think you're okay. I think it's okay.
I'd like to start there if you don't mind.
Okay, you want to start? You start with the all-you-can-eat. That's kind of how we operate. Yes, we'll go from We'll go from living like we shouldn't to the bleachers.
All right,
which is how we
should be.
And I'm going to wear a tank top.
Okay.
And short shorts, and just let it stick to the bleachers.
There you
go.
Oh, would have to get like
neon.
A little thing and just peel you off of there?
Neon.
Dude, we went out there. We were in those right field seats you were talking about. It was Bronson Arroyo puppet or whatever, little stuffed guy day.
Yeah, I know what you... Yep.
So, Minnie Finn and I went out there, and of course, we went out and we got the little thing and did all that stuff, and we were going out to our seats, so of course we stopped and got a hot dog, and then we got a snow cone, and we went and sat there, and honest to God, by the time they were done singing the national anthem,
snow cone melt.
The snow cone was gone. It was all over her. I was about a puddle. We watched the first pitch, and I think we went home.
Speaking of Arroyo, who's a very good friend of our program, are you aware that he did the color commentary for Wade Miley's no-hitter? He's doing like a select few.
Really?
Yes,
Well, how
because I
perfect
saw
is that? I
I
didn't
saw a
know that.
really cool photo of Arroyo with a bunch of dudes, and Marty Brennan was in there. But he must be going because I believe he and his girlfriend. I saw they showed him at the stands in a recent game that was during this homestand.
Well, that's good because I know
During the
they had
Giants,
some
yeah.
battles with COVID throughout their family
Right,
on both
right.
sides or whatnot. We really haven't talked to them
No,
in
we
quite a
haven't.
while because
We
they
haven't.
really kind of shut it all down.
And let me tell you, that if he wanted to, and he doesn't have to, he would be an amazing analyst. Amazing. Great personality, knows the game. I know he wants to live his life, and I'd do the same thing if I were him. Don't forget he's still being paid,
He's still
too.
getting paid.
Right, there
So
is
that's
that.
perfect.
So now that's the good, right? Well, not on the field. That was not a good homestand, in case you weren't counting.
No.
But nonetheless, that was much better. I know you played Saturday.
Yeah. The little links, hitting the links.
I attempted to play Friday.
Well, I tried to call you Friday night knowing that would be fruitless to get a full report. So then I called you Saturday when I was I played in this charity event, and I had a great time. I mean, because it was just me and a couple of buddies. We just busted each other's balls the entire time.
I had good timing, though. I called you when you were making the turn. And ordering your second Met. I didn't. That didn't escape me, by the way.
Well, I had to have one for breakfast.
Met for each 9.
And, well, I like to think quality control to make sure that they're living up to their standards.
Okay, well, you did it.
At the Hickory Woods. But I've never played there. That was a great
nice course.
And I actually had a handful of decent shots. I had a handful of bullshit, terrible shots. And but we just had a good time. And the guy that I was playing with was worse than I was, which at least makes it fun. It was a 2-man scramble and a foursome. Okay. And we were, I think, in a 2-man scramble. Okay, keep in mind, we were 11 or 13 over.
Oy.
So that's how it went. But we had a great time. It took about 5.5 hours, but we had a great time.
And you know what? And I'm okay with the fact that I suck. I mean, I am to a degree. So I am playing this coming Sunday in a golf outing at Boone Links. It's for the Cooper High School football team.
I'm sorry I'm missing this,
yeah, because I got a foursome. So went out with a member of our foursome last week, George Vogel, our last call Thursday nights. And George is a pretty decent golfer, and we had George, a buddy of George's, and a friend of mine. And so first tee at the Boone Links, figuring we're going to play that 9, then the other 9 this week, so I can be, I don't know, ready for what. And then I watched Phil Mickelson yesterday. We'll get to that momentarily. And that kind of like rejuvenated me. But I sucked so bad. I called Vogel that night, and I said, hey, I'm just calling to see which one of my shots you enjoyed the most. Did you like the straight whiff? Did you like the ball?
Did you have a whiff?
Oh, I had a whiff.
Oh,
I played it off as a don't you pipe down over there, wife. Who could beat my ass right now? Yeah. She's playing much better.
With
she's
any
in the
number of implements, including golf clubs.
So I had I said the straight whiff. I said the rough. Get the mower out, Boone Links. Rough was way too thick. Needed a second cut.
That's not called a smooth.
So I did the underneath. Ball went straight up in the air, straight back down. I topped it and murdered numerous ground animals multiple times. I shot balls left, hit in the water. It was just horrifying. I was so bad. But here's how bad it was. No, the rough, honest to God. All 4 of us hit the first tee shot off the first tee.
All right.
We all lost the ball.
Uh-huh.
Everybody lost the ball. No one was in the woods.
Yeah.
Literally couldn't find the ball.
That's been a problem. I've played twice this year, and that's happened to me a number of times. Now, the way that I'm okay
justify
with it is I go out, and if I'm looking around, I find another ball, then I'm okay because I'm still at net zero.
I lost.
If I don't lose any balls for the day, net, then I've still won.
I lost 2 sleeves of golf balls in 6 holes.
That's not good. Now, are you one of those guys that draws on the ball, like at your initials or anything, so you know it's your ball?
Yeah, I think I wrote "I suck."
Really? Well, I
think I put "lost ball."
And then people do the lines or whatever to help them putt and all this stuff. They get the little, and they're selling all these contraptions or whatever. I got a Sharpie out, and my buddy draws his initials on there or whatever, and I drew this on my ball. And he's like, "What's that?" I go, "For whoever finds it." That's how I felt when I lost it. Right. And then so I lost that one right away. So then I drew something that looks like this, but it only has a long middle and 2 little circular things. And then I drew the female counterpart on my next one.
There was a bonus though to the round.
Okay.
They had a great beer selection afterward.
Oh, really?
Tremendous beers. Yes. Nice big draft. They just redid their out. And literally this week, we're only playing 9 again. If I suck again to that level, after 2 or 3, I'm just going there.
No, you're not.
just
you got to finish.
No, I'm horrible.
You have to finish. So, but you mentioned you had the whiff. The guy that was my partner in this, he had a. I don't know. I think I'm going to make it through this. He whiffed three.
No, not on the same shot.
3 times on the same
No,
shot.
then you're done.
And he just. And I mean, that's when you hurt yourself because you think you're going to make contact.
Well, let me tell you what.
He whiffed.
You ought to be hurt and done.
He whiffed 3 times, and then when he did hit it, I don't think it made it to the ladies' tee. And so we were just all falling out. I mean, if you had taken an aerial shot, it would have looked like we were trying to spell out "help me" on an island because we were just dying. We were doubled over laughing. Well, later we get to the 18th hole, and we get he had hit a decent. Well, you said 2 decent shots all day, and we get out to the final hole. And I'm not paying attention, and we're about 140 yards out. And he gets out to sign. He goes, "What do you think I should hit?" I go, "It doesn't matter. Hit me with a cart if it makes you feel better. It doesn't matter."
Right.
So he smashes one. It goes up and it lands on the green, which is not an easy green to hit. And I'm like, wow, way to finish the day. And the other two in the other car, they go, "Well, that's what happens when you put it on a tee in the fairway." I go, "What? You put that up on a tee?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, he had a few too many. He thought we were on the tee because he saw a sprinkler head, and he thought that we were on the tee. And I'm like, "Uh-oh, I'll drive from here on out."
Yeah,
Thank you very
wow.
much.
That's
we used his ball, by the way.
Did you? Of course you did.
Well, we were 13 over. What difference?
So anyway, you wait till next Monday, the day after the outing. Oh boy!
Okay.
So we're playing another little practice round Thursday for the outing. Now, how about Phil Mickelson, oldest to win a major at 50? So you'll get a kick out of this. During the actual, I guess he was on about 14 or 15. I couldn't remember. A friend of the program, Doug Martin, the UC men's golf coach, who we know, I couldn't remember. I know Doug has a history with Phil, and I called him and I go, "Hey man, I know this is going to be a weird question. Should I be rooting for him or against him?" Because I couldn't remember whether Doug. He goes, "No, for him."
Oh,
so,
really?
Get this. So Doug played on the Walker Cup team with Phil, but this is an unbelievable story. When Phil was a freshman at Arizona State, Doug was at Oklahoma. Phil won the NCAA championship. Doug finished second. So it was Phil 1, Doug 2. Now, I take Doug's work because, trust me, Doug's told me many guys on tour, he thinks Phil's – and I think a little bit like Doug. Don't play golf like Doug. But I will go with him on that. So I just wanted to know. So you can have your own thoughts.
I think he's a phony. But I do think Phil and Doug would be a great name for an excavation company.
Phil and Doug? Or Doug and Phil?
Doug and Phil.
Doug and Phil. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, pretty cool to watch that. Now, I got to be honest with you. Event, operational control. Did you see the end?
No.
Oh, my God. I've never seen fans. Now, it's a PGA, which is a little bit different, right? They were way too close. Yeah. Even the commentators were they were touching him. Like they were coming up the fairway.
Really?
That's usually an absolute.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
But I will tell you how awesome it was to hear except for those yahoos who yell out all that.
Well, they get in the hole. Well, that's the PGA. That's the Happy Gilmore tournament typically every year. And it wasn't that the one where wasn't John Daly leading for one hole at one point? I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about that tournament. But my mom is a fan of Phil, and she said he was just so happy to have heard cheering fans again. Yeah, it's a whole different thing when they're out there playing with nothing. I'm like, boo-hoo. But anyway.
No, but I do think there are people, and I think this is in all sports, and they'll tell you, who play differently with fans and without fans. I mean, I guess you're just so accustomed to a certain way.
Could you imagine if people were watching us play?
Oh, my God. Well, first of all,
injuries there would be.
If you were watching me play, you would have one of the sorriest lives imaginable.
It'd be like being at a comedy club. All right, let's reset real quickly. He's Gamble, I'm Finn. It is Larger Than Live. Season 2, episode 15. And, yeah, you know what? It is that time to get out. I'm going to play more golf. Because, that's the other thing we talked about, too. You can play, complete horse shit and have one really good shot, and you'll be like, hey, you know what? I might be able to play this game.
I would have liked to have had that
playing.
one.
You didn't even have one?
No. I mean, I guess there was a couple.
One good putt? Nothing? Chip? Nothing?
Not really.
To make you renew your faith?
Horrendous.
Oh, wow.
We
got to play then.
And I was not. I maintained composure. I didn't get really. I was just because it was so bad. It was like I couldn't even get. It wasn't even worth getting angry over.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually playing well enough that I did have a bad shot, and I slammed my club into the ground, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm going to break this club. Then I'm going to be really mad.
I should have known this when as I'm walking to my ball, trying to find it in the rough on the first hole. I'm like, man, why the hell's my left foot hurt so bad? I've got something obviously felt like it was in my sock. So I took my golf shoe off, took my sock off, nothing in there, and then a tee falls out of my shoe. I was walking with a golf tee in my shoe. It wasn't in my sock, it was in my shoe.
Oh, my God. Well, we were lucky we did not get inundated with cicadas. I've seen my first couple just today out walking Calvin, but I'm starting to hear them.
Yeah,
so we didn't. I mean, playing golf here soon is going to be horrendous from a sensory standpoint.
Yeah,
so
it will be.
Let's get out and do that. I'll as quickly as we can, because after you guys play, I want to get a follow-up match and get out, and let's try to get out and do it right. Now, I told you last week.
Yes.
There's something that I saw that, and I've thought about it again. It's one of those things where I think I want to not backpedal, do maybe almost a 180, maybe just a 120 on something. You know, the kind of thing that I hate more than anything.
I was going to say, I mean, the list is lengthy.
And if there was a certain family that just drove me batshit crazy up the wall more than anything, because they're, to me, famous for being famous. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Probably the Kardashians.
Yes, correct. That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever watched on Netflix, David Letterman, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction.
No.
He's had some pretty good pieces. He's had one with Obama. Oh, he's got the big Santa beard.
Love the beard.
He had one. And mostly it was in studio or in this theater the first season. Well, this other season now he's kind of gone out and ventured out. He does a great one with Chappelle. He does it up there outside Yellow Springs where he was doing those shows, those COVID shows. And he did one with Kim Kardashian. And I almost have my impression of her now has changed, and it's almost like my change in position on Joey Votto. I think the Joey Votto deal was the worst thing the Reds could have ever done. I just do. The guy builds his stats when they don't matter. He's never really carried the team when you really thought that's what he's supposed to do. But then I finally realized about the money. I'd have taken that money.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
Well, by the way, the Eugenio Suarez deal might now be number 2 in your category.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to blame them for taking the money.
I won't blame any athlete.
Good for them.
Right.
And so now Letterman has Kim Kardashian on, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch a few minutes of this just to prove to me what a complete dope and idiot she is. And it turns out, and I didn't realize, she went to bat with Trump when he was president for a woman who was serving a life sentence for marijuana. Do you remember that? And she got her out. This woman was a grandmother. I think had been in prison for, I don't know, decades. And she got her out. And now she's going to law school to get into advocacy to try to help some of these people. So she's using her position. She used her position to be able to get in with him to help this woman. But now she's actually going to law school. And when they weren't sitting on the stage, they had them out in a CVS. And they were shopping for pens and notebooks and things like that. And the back and forth that they were having, it really kind of seemed like she was, I mean, she knew. She goes, look, I know people don't like us because we're famous for being famous or whatever, but she talked about Uncle OJ and the split in the family. Her dad was pro OJ, her mom and them were pro
Goldman.
Nicole,
right.
And Goldman.
Yep.
And they talked a little bit about that. But when I saw that she was actually trying to go to, she's going to law school, and she has this exam. Maybe she's already finished. I don't know, because this was a while back. But I thought, you know what? Maybe to that end, I was wrong. I do think they were lucky to fall in. I mean, she was the stylist for Paris Hilton, another one of my favorites, famous for being famous. But do you have anybody like that because Mickelson to me is another one that maybe I might change my tune on, but I used to like him a lot, like Tiger, and then I went the other way. So this one, I still, and here's where I go back to the Votto thing. The fact that when she walked out, she got the reception that she got, and people are so crazy over her. And like if she mentions Sprite in an Instagram post, they'll sell $8 million worth of Sprite. That, to us as a collective nation, we're idiots over stuff like that.
But that's not her fault.
But that's not her fault.
No, there's one for me. Well, the one for me is I really used to really, really like LeBron James.
Yep.
I did.
I can see that.
Now it is, well, but here's the problem. I still think LeBron James, honestly, is not a bad guy. I mean, he never gets in, really, But I don't need to hear. I see now. I'm different in a little bit. I don't care what any of these people say or do. I could care less. They don't impact me whatsoever.
So then why is it that you don't like him now?
Because I think he is now made himself too self-important. For instance, like he feels the need now to respond, comment, give an opinion on things that have nothing to do. If he wants to talk about the NBA, the world that he's in, great. But he has to comment now on everything.
Social injustice, this and that, and things he doesn't know anything about.
I'll give you those kind of people, though, when they do have, like you mentioned about saying, Kim Kardashian says something about Sprite and they sell whatever. I mean, that's the problem is they now feel like, and I guess they don't feel like people do pay attention to what they believe and say. I just am not one of them.
But this is something that is kind of, is this going to be frightening? Is it going to backfire? Whatever. Because here's a great example. This show right now, we want to work to get some sponsors. We're really taking a couple seasons to work the kinks out on this thing, find out what you like, find out what you'd rather hear us talk about, or find out what you think and see if we can speak at eye level on that. As we hunt for sponsors, you talk about impact and and reach and frequency and all these different things. She was talking about the fact that she was going on David Letterman's show, and her sister didn't even know who Letterman was. And she said, well, back in the day, you went on his show to become da-da-da-da.
Correct.
She puts out one Instagram post that gets more reach and frequency than the David Letterman show.
Yeah.
One social media post. And that's the frightening thing about all of this, because if that were to go away, do people know how to do traditional media? If they start regulating social media, because our kids are going to have to think about this. Mm-hmm. If they start regulating this, and this isn't just a free-for-all bastion of anybody can say whatever they want to do, and they start regulating, or you start having to pay for it, you watch those numbers come way back down. Yeah. And the people that know how to do traditional media are going to have, I think, an advantage. I really do. But I couldn't believe it when she was talking about the numbers and the reach and frequency and impact of one post.
But don't you think that's the problem a lot of times is that a lot of people, depending on whatever else they do, like a lot of times I've heard people reference like an athlete. They're going, man, I heard that guy speak. He's really intelligent. Well, you just don't think every athlete's just a dumbass? I mean, I guess for me, I just don't care.
It's kind of like musicians and politics. Same thing.
It is. I mean, I'm going to go to speaking of concerts, damn it. So I wanted to go to Smith and Myers. Remember you mentioned that Thursday night? It was last night.
Last night, yeah. I wondered if you got in your time machine and went back. I'm sorry.
No, I literally got on the internet. You know that thing you punch up and you see things?
This is big, kids.
Last night to look at when that concert was. I'm like, May 23rd. Damn, that's tonight. And it was already underway. And it was sold out.
Yeah.
Which I'm not surprised. I mean, Smith and Myers, by the way, are two members of Shinedown, which the lead singer and a guitarist, and they're awesome. I mean, some of the stuff that they've done are really cool.
Yeah,
I'm 0 for 1 already on concerts.
Yeah, there you go.
I was looking at a couple others. I think people are coming out. If you want to go to a concert and tickets are on sale, you best get them.
Yeah. Well, and I think what you're going to see is they're going to have limited tickets available to begin with. Like I think the big festivals have sold out almost immediately. Yeah. But then I think as we get closer to those dates, you're going to see them release more and more and more. And the good news is, if you think about it, there should be some pretty good tickets released late because they were only able to sell so many up front.
Valid point.
So many here and so many here. Yeah. So if you...
But boy, there's a lot of shows booked.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just looking. By the way, before I forget this little ditty too that I want to point out, I was riding yesterday down the Cut in the Hill, trying to get to Ohio, and there were two signs that caught my attention: speed limit 40. Are you joking? Did you put the 0 there just as a mistake? Should be speed limit 4. You jackasses doing that bridge. And then it said, like they're overhead catching speeders. I hope they'll be flying around for months.
Oh,
I mean, are you joking?
Traffic monitored by air or whatever.
I mean, what a joke that is. Yeah. That is such bullshit. Yeah. That bridge stuff.
Yep.
Who do I blame? Kentucky, Ohio, or both?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And especially when you think about the fact that we had 9 solid months of really nothing going on downtown, because that was when COVID was starting and people were working from home. That would have been the time to go do all of this.
Almost a half hour to get from the top of the Cut in the Hill across the bridge.
Yeah. I don't
At 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
I don't even mess with it anymore, to be honest
Sorry,
with
I
you.
feel better now.
I really don't.
That's
well, good.
my
All right. Well,
catharsis.
it's time for us to wrap things up.
Are we
'cause
done
gotta
already?
We got to get to the extras.
All right.
I'm not going to say I'm a hypocrite, but I did
Well,
have
no,
a change
you-
of heart with regard to
Okay.
at least Kim Kardashian.
Maybe
only.
you looked a little deeper into
Well,
it.
and she had the sense to get rid of that jackass Kanye West.
Oh, yeah.
So because
there
he's
is
out.
that.
Because this was before he was, and this is the other
Gotcha.
thing. He's sitting out. I mean, there's Chris. What's her name? Chris Jenner. And then he's sitting next to her, right, in the audience, and they show him. He's sitting there with a hoodie up like this, in the middle of the crowd. It's like, you don't think they know that's you, jack off? I mean, I don't know. He's just, that guy's a lunatic. And Letterman does one of those things with him. I don't think I'll get a change of heart by watching that.
By the way,
one.
I love Letterman's beard.
It's so great.
Well, it's outstanding because a dude who just said, "Yep, you know what? I can do whatever the hell I want.
I
Here
can
you
and
go."
I will. And
He's
the one,
a piece.
if you get a
isn't he?
chance to watch the one with Dave Chappelle, it's
Okay.
definitely worth watching because Chappelle is one of the smartest sons of bitches out there. He completely gets it, and if you don't get it, watch him and he'll help you get it.
So let me close with this question to you: how embarrassed would you be if my foursome finishes with a worse score than my wife's in this outing?
Oh, you're playing in this outing also?
yeah.
It's not even a question, I don't think, then.
No, I'm playing with a non-golfer.
Uh-oh. No, you're playing with a
Well,
non-golfer?
I mean, really?
Yeah, I think you still have a legit chance. All right. Well, we'll see.
Well, thankfully, because
The battle of the sexes is on.
it is on.
All right, we'll get all those results. We're taking a week off next Monday for Memorial Day weekend, so we're going to take the week off
Right.
and let you have and celebrate with your family if you have the opportunity. If you have anybody in the
Yep,
military
absolutely.
in your family, if you have the opportunity, just take a moment. Remember what Memorial Day really is all about, and why we're able to do the things that we're still able to do, at least for the time being. Keep that
And
in
you're
the back of
taking
your head.
off Wednesday, but I'm not. I'll be at the Moorline Lager House. A couple special guests. It takes two to fill the shoes and maybe the pants.
Always has.
Jeff Pecoro will join me. Jeremy Ralph of Fox 19 Sports will be there 5 to 7, having the usual fun, some trivia, some prizes, cornhole going on here and where you'll be.
Yep.
So there you go. Come on out and join us out at the event lawn.
Yes, and it's going to take a while before you find us again on LW because the Reds have to rocket their way to the bottom of the division between now and then. So we'll figure out what we're going to talk about after that. Catch me in September.
I'm with you.
All right,
All
we're
good.
going to wrap this edition up. Thanks for checking it out. Throw any comments you want down below. The extras are coming to the YouTube channel, Gamble N Fin. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and share it. He's Gamble, I'm Finn.
And we are out.